Hello everyone, back once again with another review. Today I'll be looking at the Zebob Toys Watchtower and Searchlight playset, which is built for 1/12 scale figures. If you're not familiar with Zebob Toys, they create 1/12 scale products for diorama purposes. They don't have a massive range. If you go back into my old reviews, you'll see that I previously reviewed their Checkpoint set, and this will sort of work hand in hand with that, but I'll touch on more of that later. So let's get into it. As you can see, much like the other video, if you watch that, the box doesn't give you a whole lot of detail. 1/12, some Cantonese or Mandarin that I can't read, and Z1A, which is a product number, and made in China. You might have seen this set on BBTS, so if you have, this is a good way of looking at what you actually get, how to put it all together. So let's have a look inside. And much like the previous one, it does come unassembled and with styrofoam inserts. This is the base plate, which the Watchtower will sit on. It's got like a timber base and kind of like a smooth, somewhat, I guess, sort of, how would you describe it? The finish. It's got like a concrete sort of finish, but yeah, it's quite sturdy. Let's pop that to the side for a moment. Now, the last time I tried to open these, one of these things basically just exploded in hand, and it's probably taped together. So what I might do is I'll crack that open with a knife, save you going through the pain that I'm going to have to deal with all this styrofoam breaking, and we'll be back in a jiffy. So I've just laid it all out here, got it out of the foam and some of the items that were bagged, which were the ladder and the searchlight, just to make things a little bit easier. So you've got the base plate there, as I mentioned. This is the guard tower that goes on top of the main structure. This has got like it's all steel or metal. The finish, you can see the finish on it. It is quite nice. And this is like a proper grill, mesh grill. Oh, there's a clang for you. You can hear it is quite sturdy. And that will house a sentry or a sniper, whatever you like. So let's pop that over there. A ladder. I'm not too sure exactly where this goes yet, but again, it is metal. These are magnets, and they are used to, I believe, to hold the ladder in place, as well as something else, which I'm yet to determine, but we'll get to that more in a second. And these are, I guess you would call them like the battery points for the searchlight. They're purely aesthetic, I believe. They don't have any current running through them, because that would be dangerous. So yeah, that's what those are for. We'll put those into those in a second. This is the functioning searchlight, and again, that has a magnet there, and I believe that just fixes in to this point here, and it should just pop in. It does sit there, but not very well. But it does pivot when it's in there, but it's not holding in well, so it's falling out quite easily. Maybe one of the other magnets does go in there. I'll have a look at that again shortly. So that just generally sits like that, and that on top. And this is the battery pack that powers it. Now I believe this opens up, and this is where the actual battery unit is. You'll need AAA batteries for this, and that should just come out, I believe. And then you can just, looks like that slides open. Yep, it does. So you need 2 AAA batteries to power this unit. I'll put those in a minute once we get it all set up. And it's nifty how like they've actually added this functionality to it, to the set, which would be great for, obviously, for figure photography, or even just for sitting on your shelf or cabinet and for display purposes. And that just shuts and clips into place like so. Again, that's metal, which is cool. The magnets are sticking to everything right now. Get rid of those. So yep, there you have that. Yeah, see, that's not cool, that falling off like that. I'm gonna have to play around with that in a moment. So the main structure just sits on the base, like so, and you can place it practically anywhere you like. You could probably even spin that around like so, turn it around like so you can get a good look at it. And so you got the staircase here that leads up to the main platform here. Again, as I mentioned, there's no real place for this ladder. Like, what would you need the ladder for? What sort of purpose? I don't understand. To climb upstairs? It doesn't make any sense, but it's there, it's an accessory. So you gotta have a look at the back there. It sits pretty flush. There's no wobble, which is nice. And my flag has a bit of a wobble, as it is sitting on the custom deck. Got this chain link fence here. And it looks like they just clip over, and it seems like the clips have come loose. They aren't quite very sturdy. I'll just bring that in for a closer look so you can have a look. They're just small, basic little clips. Something to be mindful of, I guess, if you're just putting them on. They should just clip over, I'm guessing. Let's have a look. Yeah, they're quite delicate. And also quite fiddly. I don't want to break this. This makes for great TV, doesn't it? I guess you could also have like figures. Oh, it's bent really easily then. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. This comes with no instruction manual, I should add, so that is something also to be mindful of. And that's just clipped off and fallen off the chain, so I'm gonna have to bend that back into place. What a pain in the ass. I guess it is made in China, just saying. But yeah, you can just see now that I've just, it's just come loose again. Yeah, that's fiddly. And quite annoying, but it is what it is, really. There's not really much about it. I'm just going to leave those loose for now, or else I'll be here all day. So I'm just going to place it back around to the front. You can see some of the styrofoam that's still flinging around after I got it out of the box. And we'll just pan out here so you can have a big look at it. So there it is, like so. I've just noticed that this here, the staircase is a bit buckled. I guess it gives some real world aesthetic to it. It's not perfect by any stretch. Look at that styrofoam, which is annoying me. So you just place the tower on top. There's a space here for it just to sit. And that can just sit like that. Doesn't fix into place or anything like that. It's very, very basic. I'll just spin out here so we can have a better look at it. And then we will take our searchlight. And I just realized one of these magnets is quite small. I don't know why, if compared to the other three. As you can see, they are quite strong, as a magnet should be. Now, in terms of these magnets, I've detached them from one another because obviously being magnets, they're quite a pain in the ass to pull apart. Now, for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out what these are used for, because as I said, there is 4 of them, and with no instructions, is a very good question. So I've taken the smallest one here, and I've attached it to the ladder. And I'm just going to sit the ladder here for now. The other one, now I tried to connect it into the light, thinking that, you know, that would fix it into place, but it doesn't. That just sits there, and I think that's pretty poor. That shouldn't happen, because this is metal, and I think this should be glued into place, because if I push that into place, this is what happens. And it looks like there is glue there, but they weren't glued, obviously, when I got it. So that's a bit of a QC issue. But we're going to take this, we'll just place it up here for now. That's where it sits with its wires. And obviously the Searchlight, which does have a handle, pivots up and down, like so. I'm just being very gentle as I do this, simply because it's not fixed. Another idea would be to put one magnet under here, and you would think that would fix to there, but it doesn't. So that just sits loose. As for the other magnets, good question. I've put one under here, which will help hold that in place. The other ones, I guess you could put one under this, if you wanted to, and the other one under here, and that would hold that in place. That's as much as I can figure out that they would go. So that's a tower in all its glory. There's not much to it more than that. So what I'll do is I'll get it set up with some figures and show you how that looks. Now I just want to zoom in here and show you something. I've reconfigured it a bit. I've moved the ladder from down here to up here, because upon closer inspection, there's actually no staircase leading up to the top platform. So I reconfigured this to be in the middle, because the access point from the staircase is there. So you'd need to be able to get up, and then you'd have clearance to walk away all around the platform. Excuse me. Of course, you can move this wherever you like, whatever seems purposeful for yourself. But for me, I feel like that's probably the best position from a display standpoint and a practicality standpoint. Now, I've only got the 3 figures in here, but you can definitely get more figures on here. The top platform, you can probably put one more up the top. Let's just chuck Kamakura up here for now, before it gets a little bit too crowded. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What I'll do now is I'll try and get this room as dark as possible, and we'll have a look at the Searchlight. It's the afternoon here, so blocking out the afternoon sun isn't that successful, but you can see that the light is on and functional, and it is quite bright. So in terms of, you know, a nice little feature, it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it once it turns night. But yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of turning on the Searchlight, in the battery pack, there's a little switch, and all you need to do is toggle that. So as I did mention earlier, you might have seen this on BPTS. You can get it from there. And I got mine from a local seller in Australia called Shugo Toys. I'll put the links to both pages and the products in the comments below if you're interested. But that's it. That's the review. It's a hefty price tag. I think it's about 129 US, and it cost me about 269 Australian, giggity. And yeah, it's a lot of money to pay for something like this, but this is why we have Afterpay and all that sort of jazz. But yeah, it does look cool. I'm looking forward to getting it on top of those detailed cabinets you see behind you. Thank you for watching. I'm not going to drag this out, as it is what is very basic kind of structure and playset. I recommend it. If I was going to give it a rating, I would probably give it about 3 out of 5 stars. Simply because, you know, there's not a lot to it, but for world building and the fact that there's not a lot of playsets available at this stage for 1/12 scale military figures, especially in Joe and Action Force lines, this is as good as it gets. So yeah, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. That would be greatly appreciated. If you want to check out the other video of the checkpoint, go back and check that as well. As I said, the 2 products do go hand in hand pretty much. And yeah, check out my other videos while you're here. Thank you once again for watching. Have yourself a great day.